This video is, man, Shet happens. And I did spell it with a SHET to avoid any type of backlash. Terry Nyson has been warning for anybody that follows me when I do the readings. She has been warning and she's right. All kind of shit's going on, but you kind of get used to it. I'll dedicate this video to a man I used to work for named Michael. That's a biblical name, and he happened to be a Jewish man, very self-made man. He started, well, I'm not gonna say he started off, but he worked in the auto industry, and he decided to start his own auto warranty business. Some of y'all might even know who I'm talking about. Now, but he was a nice guy. Like in his early days, this is before I got there, but I heard about him. By the time I got there, he would still buy lunch for everybody, but like basically cut sandwiches. But before that, he used to give out menus, and you could buy whatever you wanted on the menu. But they were still complaining. And even by the time I got there, it was new people, like not the ones that were there. Some of them were there in the early days when he was real nice. But he finally just got mad, and he was like, F y'all. I'm paying for all this shit. I don't have to buy this. So he cussed them out. He cussed them out. Cause I mean, they could get a menu like in a restaurant and say, oh, I want the chicken and the potatoes, like a real meal for lunch. They were eating like that, and they complained. And the people that were there when I was there, they used to complain because it's just the nature where we are. And like I said, the older you get, the more you realize. And people say, oh, he's not bitter, he's not mean, she's not bitter, she's not mean. It's just that they've learned. They're a little bit older, but they've learned, so they know not to do this and not to do that, and watch what you're doing here, watch how you do this, and watch how you do this, make sure you get your receipts, and who to call when because they've been through all the BS on this planet. Now remember, the title of this video is When Shet Happens. When Shet Happens. So I wanted to start off with Michael because he was quite the see. He'd get up in your face. And so Michael was, because he was the boss, but he was a nice guy, and most of those people that were working there are from the hood, because I'd be up in there. I'm a quiet dude, so nobody really knows me, doesn't know nothing, unless I went to school with them or something. But I'd be up in there and just checking out everything going on, and I had been there longer than a lot of those other people, so they didn't know how it works. I did, so I just knew certain shit. I just kept to myself. But when all those hood dudes would go out to the hood bar, I'd be up in there, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's that dude that we work with and shit." And then they knew, like, "Oh no, that he's not no punk." And then and like my sister, when she is alive, she's always throwing some type of get together. So a lot of those dudes would be over here. So I'd be up in the room, and I come downstairs, and all them dudes that would be at the job would see me come downstairs, and we just look at each other, start laughing and shit. So Michael was the type, he'd get up in your face and stuff, because those people would be out of line, like the people that work for him, they would be out of line. He'd get up in your face, but he almost got beat up a couple of times because, like I said, these are hood dudes. So Michael would hire big black guys to be his managers and general managers and shit. And then them big black dudes would come tell you, hey, don't do that or don't do that. Or if somebody got ready to say something to Michael, they were like his bodyguards and shit. So the point I'm trying to make, Michael was the type of dude that he'd run up on you. Crazy. Crazy. Real passionate about his business, passionate about his money. He'd run up on you. You'd be on the telephone. He'd be in his Mercedes Benz driving around, handling his daily business or whatever. And you'd be on the telephone. He'd be listening to you. So you're in the building on your telephone. But he didn't like how you said it, or you could have said it, or you're not sticking to the script, and he'd be listening to you in his car. So he might be, nowhere near you in his car listening. And you'd hear him say, "Don't say that," or he'd type something on your screen. You would see him typing on your screen like, "Don't say that." He was a phenomenal dude, and he sat in a glass building. Like his office was glass, so he saw everything. And that reminded me of the Richard Pryor movie. My favorite movie is Which Way Is Up by Richard Pryor. Second favorite movie is Menace to Society. So so um so he would run up like, and then there'd be construction, because this is a like a professional building, so it's other offices and stuff like that, and it would be guys like hammering and shit. He'd come running out that office. He'd be like, "Hey, you can't be hammering like that. I got a business." He'd be spazzing out on people and shit. So anybody that knows, even Farrakhan did a book, the relationship between the Jews and the blacks, because if you really study that relationship, there is a unique relationship. It is it depends on, but it's so many different varieties of, like what you would say Jew. It's like there's so many different varieties of what you would say Catholic Church, but there's so many different varieties of a Catholic, you know. So they're like that. So it's kind of funny. Um, y'all might remember the TV show. I forget what it was, but I'll tell you who was in it. The dude used to do jewelry, and this was like a type of hip hop reality show. And the dude used to do jewelry or something like that. He was a Jew, and they had another Jew that was kind of like an oddball, and nobody wanted to f with him. So he walked up to that other Jew and said, "Hey, the oath you took. Like, we got to look out for each other." So that other dude had to look out for him and shit. The shit was funny. And then another time, I can't tell you where, but a win. But this guy, he did something real. This is a long time ago, but he did something real effed up. And he kept trying to get this other dude to help him, and the dude ain't want to help him because what he did was just fucked up. And he kept telling that dude to help him and shit. And he did, though. He still helped him, though. So so basically, if you say what is he talking about, when Shet happens, So finally, Mike began to get older, and he had heart trouble. So he couldn't go crazy no more like he used to. He had to learn how to shit happen. Like he had to learn that shit happens, and you just can't be jumping all crazy and jumping up in people's faces, and primarily putting yourself at risk. Because there were people that were putting death threats on him. This is because I worked there. I mean, even before I got there, I heard about it. But when I got there, it was one dude. This dude, he never really messed with me, but he was like, he thought he was a street dude, but like me, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just me. I don't give a fuck who you are, nigga. You're not gonna disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? So all that bullshit you talking, I could care less, cause nigga, it's nothing between us but air, and anybody can get it. At the end of the day, when you're that close to anybody, anybody can get it, no matter who you are. You could be the best fighter in the world, but you got to turn your back sometime. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's gonna take. Whatever it's going to take. So I never worried about dudes running their mouth. I grew up on that. So this dude was running his mouth, and he got mad at Mike over something. So he kept saying he was going to bring the gang members up in there. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't really a gangster. I want y'all to hear what I'm trying to say. Like right now, Gilly got a situation with this dude that acting like he's a gang member, but Gilly, like, you ain't no gang member. What you talking? Gang members don't dress like that. No. So Gilly's a real dude. He's a real street dude, repping Philly. And you could tell dudes that just be out there little, they just be talking crazy. And then it always take a real dude to check them. So this dude, I always minded my business. Like I could care less about the next nigga around me, next whoever. Just don't fuck around my cipher. Don't fuck around my circle. And anybody that work with me, I say, yeah, he really is like that. Like I really could care less what y'all talking about. Just don't do that shit around me. So that's how he was. So he was always off with the mouth. So he was mad at Mike for some reason, which, it was a lot of stuff going on in that place or whatever, but it's a way to handle something. So I was just minding my business. Like I had my my own life, my own problems. I didn't have time to be worrying about this dude. So he was saying he was gonna get all these gangsters to come up in there and run up in Mike's office and shit. So I work with another dude named O. So O, like in the early days, O thought I was a nerd. So in the early days, if I was sitting over here, O wouldn't sit nowhere near me. And if I sat down anywhere near O, he would get up and move to the other side of the room and shit. But when that nigga, I don't know how like a lot of shit happened. I don't remember everything, but there was a couple of times I weighed down on everybody up in there. You know, because I said there was a lot of shit going on up in there. So I was wigging out on niggas. Like I was always like a one man army. Like fuck with me, nigga. I'll make you repent. I'll make you wish you never said shit to me. So once O saw that side of me, he was always sitting by me and shit. So he would always sit. He came like a groupie and shit. This nigga was always first he didn't want to sit by me. Now this nigga want to sit by me all the time because he saw how I get down. Like nigga, I wish a nigga would. Nigga, what the fuck y'all? I'm gonna fuck with none of y'all talking about up in here, nigga. I'm not that nigga. Y'all must be out your damn mind. Don't let the glasses fool you. And so O used to like he would try to sit next to me, but it was another female. That was always, you know, she would tell him to get up. She said, that's my seat. She always sit by me and shit. So when you a real nigga, it's like life can be paradise and shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, getting back to don't let the Shet hit the fan. So O told that dude, like, why you gonna have a whole bunch of niggas run up in here? Like, if you got a situation, go talk to him like a man and shit. What you talking about? You gonna get all these G's and shit? So I never really, like I said, the dude never really said too much to me other than, you know, he was always walking around with knives and forks. But that's how jail niggas be. Like if a nigga been locked up for a while, you'll see him out of jail still walking around with knives and forks in his pocket and shit. Like this nigga, you know what I'm saying? He's shell shocking shit. Like nigga, you ain't in jail no more, nigga. What the fuck you do? So this nigga was old. He had knives and forks in his glove compartment, and he'd be walking around with them in his pocket and shit like that. But I just was too busy. I never really, you know what I'm saying? I always seen that nigga, but I never really focused on that nigga. I was just like, if this nigga say anything to me, he getting fucked up. Like, I don't give a fuck who you talking about, what you repping. If you say anything to me, you gonna get hurt. I don't give a fuck who you are. So I never, every time he was talking, I just ignored that nigga. You know, other than you got a knife or fork, and I'd be like, nah, man, you know, what this nigga talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then, so Omar used to talk to that nigga. Them was the good old days, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We was wilding. So anyway, so the point I'm making is Mike had to learn that shit is gonna happen, and it's a way to deal with shit. Yeah, you just can't. You done killed yourself. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain people, like I keep telling y'all, they just got that energy. So whenever they come around, it's gonna be some bullshit. And so a lot's going on right now. Like I said, I just got finished doing some work for that type of person. I had a pair of work boots, was fine. As soon as I got finished doing the work for that person, the boot broke down and shit. So then I tried to get that shit a new pair. That shit became a problem. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. So you got to go through all this. And even today, my schedule got changed for some other shit that's happening. But again, it's like this. To keep it 100, it is doing a lot of work for somebody else. But you also benefit from the situation. So I'm not trying to come out here and make it seem like, oh, I'm the hero and, oh, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm just saying you get hit with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be everywhere. And it's always going to be somebody that's going to come out of nowhere. When you've been up all day long and you tired of motherfucker. You got, like I said, Mike got heart trouble. I got heart trouble. You know what I'm saying? Then you got somebody coming out of nowhere on some bullshit. You know, and they usually breaking the rules. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be contacting me like that, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Don't call here and shit. So then they're going to try to flip it and do something with that. So that's going to be something else. So that's why I said for me, that's when you got to just pray and release it. Once you pray it, you got to release it. But once you got to really release it, you can't keep holding it. And most people, they say they pray, but they keep holding it. And you got to realize shit happens. But if you're really walking in the spirit, at the time you need it, that's when it's going to come. Whatever help you're looking for, at the time you need it, that's when it's going to come. But God will allow you to get overwhelmed. Don't, and make sure, because I know right away somebody going to run to the Bible. No, he doesn't, because the Bible says he doesn't give you more. See, you looking for an argument. But you're not reasoning. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to talk facts, not to argue, because arguing is stupid. I always talk facts. I talk facts. Once I'm standing on facts, I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. You understand? Now, here's the facts. You think David wasn't overwhelmed when he had the Philistines chasing his ass? You think David wasn't overwhelmed when, even though the Philistines were chasing his ass, so was a large majority of Israel was chasing his ass at the same time. You think David wasn't overwhelmed when King Saul put a hit out on his ass saying, anybody bring me that man's head, I don't give a fuck who you are, just kill that nigga. So everywhere this nigga went, he had to double looking like belly sleeping shit. Because even some of his own men might have wanted to make a name in Israel by bringing David's head back to King Saul. So you think David wasn't overwhelmed? You think David wasn't overwhelmed when his own family turned against him? He had to leave his own kingdom because his own son was trying to kill him, and his own son fucked all his concubines up on the roof so everybody could see that shit. You don't think the nigga was overwhelmed? So no, that's called when God throw your ass in the deep. And all you gotta do is read Psalm 69. I just read it recently. The water's coming over my head. That sounds like if you in the water and you sinking and the water's coming over your head, you think you're not overwhelmed? So that's why I said we don't do stupid shit on this channel. We deal with the facts. I'm sorry if the facts. Some people want to deal with Fantasy Island, but we don't do that here. My name ain't Tattoo, and I don't look like Mr. Rock, nigga. What? He played, boys. He played. We don't do that here, nigga. So you do gotta throw some shit in the deep, but you're gonna have to learn that God got you. No matter how bad it get. God got you. And that's the confidence that you have to have if you really walking with the Bible God. Not all this fake shit people talking about. No fake Jesuses, no fake Bible, no fake interpretation, no fake shit. The Bible God is going to throw your ass in that deep. And if you really walk in the Spirit and you've learned how to do it, you will get through it. These are facts. Now, like I said, facts. You can't be everywhere all the time. Facts. As you get older and whatever's going on with your health, your body, that is going to cause problems. You are going to be letting people down. There's nothing you can do about it because it's health shit. Facts. If you have to caregiver, you might be a caregiver for somebody, a relative of somebody. So they might fall out of nowhere. You think everything's cool and all that, especially as whoever they are, as they get older. You know what I'm saying? They'll know they know what they're supposed to do. They just won't do it. Facts. Like I said, today this house is going to be rocking with all this stuff coming in and out of here. Now, the person just came back from down south and forgot all their medicine. So now that had to be rushed here, and people had to pay extra money to get that here. So this shit go on all and on. And at the end, like I said, this same person, when they fell out one day, which I did everything I could, but the person just hard-headed. They fell out one day, and everybody that came through that door was talking to me like I was shit. All the EMTs came in talking to me like it's my fault the person laid out. Cops came in looking at me all strange and shit. I happen to have on like a red head rag. I didn't even know it. Like if I knew they was coming, you know what I'm saying, I would have took that shit off. Cause they were looking at me like the real grimy. And I didn't know I had it on. So they were looking at me like they was talking shit. So I started talking shit back, but I didn't know I had that red band on and shit. Cause they would have killed me and shit. And nigga, it's just a head rag, nigga. I didn't even know the shit was out. I would have been and took that shit. I ain't trying to get shot the fuck up in my own house and shit. But I didn't know I had it on until after they left. I was like, what? I was like, why these cops coming here talking to me all grimy and shit? Because they were looking at me like I did it. You know what I'm saying? They were like, look, asking me questions and I would answer that question. And then the one dude, the biggest dude, big black dude, was getting real tough. And I was talking shit back to that nigga like, yo, you ain't going to come up in my house disrespecting me and shit. He like, what's wrong? I would tell him what was wrong and he just keep on going on. And I was mad because I told that person the day earlier, okay, you need to eat more food than that. All right, you need to do this. And they just looking at you. Yeah, whatever. You know, boom. So next day, now they out. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like I said, it's a walk in the park because we do that little dance quite often. We did a lot last year. This year we did it, but she did good because she hasn't done shit like that since 2004. It's just for some reason recently she been just spazzing. So point I'm trying to make is that's the reality, and this is the stuff you have to pray about, everything, and you have to be walking with God because God will make ways where there is no way. Even if somebody say, okay, listen, we sick of hearing this, we got to do this. Then you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be easy, but you just got to keep on trusting in God. And, you know, that's all I can tell you. But the shit is going to happen. So you gonna have to get used to it. It's gonna happen. Like Mike, you running a business, and the main workers in your business, which is nice to Mike because he don't have to do that. Like one thing, Mike will hire anybody. Like he give you a chance. Like he really was. Like I said, people may think he was a meanie, but what made Mike a meanie was the people. Cause who pays, who lets you go to a restaurant on your lunch break? And he used to give them like an hour lunch break, I think. They said he used to give them an hour lunch break, give them a restaurant menu, and tell them they could order whatever they wanted. You know how much money he was losing doing that? And best that I know, he still feeds them. He just feeds them like little like subs. They can get like cut the sub up or some shit. But it's still something. It's still a meal and shit that you ain't paying for. Because some of these people coming in front of the hood, they don't have that. Like real talk. I remember one female walked in. Y'all understand what I'm telling you. That's why. Let me just tell you this. That's why that female used to tell O to get up. Because y'all gotta understand, when she first came through the first time, she was there and she was fine as fuck. But at that time, I was like retired as far as fucking with females. So I seen her, but I was getting ready to come out of retirement. That's how fine she was. I said, damn, that chick is fine. I'm coming out of retirement. But before I could, she left. Like she worked there real quick and left. So I ain't see her for about a year or two. And then when she came back, but in that year's time, another female came in. But this female was more this female was more into like, she was more in touch with the masculine side. You know what I'm saying? But she was real skinny when she came in. So I was like, yo, on break, come with me. I was like, I'm gonna feed you and shit. You know what I'm saying? I did. So I took her out and shit. But show you how real this shit get. This is just so y'all can get a touch of me. Like back then, not so much now, but back then. So I took her and this other female was with me, named LaShawn. She was from the island too, and Miss LaShawn looks just like this female. This is what I be talking about, soul families. Because this female I met in 2014, I call Miss P. LaShawn looked just like her, and me and Miss P was real close too, and me and LaShawn was real close. But they both look alike, and a whole bunch of supernatural shit happened the day I met Miss P. I was going up the highway, and I thought I saw LaShawn on the other side, and then like within minutes after that, I met Miss P. So that was like the universe's way telling me the connection. You know, these is all soul families. Just like right now, somebody's in my life right now, kind of like and I knew she was coming because I always do reading. There was like a Capricorn's coming, an Earth sign, and then she came, and then I seen some shit last night, some shit about a Capricorn and shit with numerology, crazy shit. But this shit going on all the time. But anyway, so it was me, LaShawn, and that female. She had just started working that day. I said, yo, I'm gonna take you to eat and shit. So we went to it was like a little restaurant up the street or whatever. We went up in there. And then when I was ordering shit, then when I went to pay, like get my money, I was like, oh shit. I ain't got no fucking money and shit. I mean, I had it, but it wasn't on me and shit. So I was like, yo, LaShawn, yo, just hit me right now. I'll get you tomorrow and shit. So she did it. But see, LaShawn used to be with me even after work because I used to give her a ride home. But I used to didn't charge her. But I was like, she should know, you know, she's always in my car and shit. And so she did it. So she paid for everything. The next day I hit her back. I gave her money back and shit. But I was that nigga. Like I got back there, I was that nigga. I was on television and shit. And I was still in the hood. Like you could come in, that's what I'm saying. You could come in the hood and see me. You could come in the most darkest motherfucking alleyway in the hood. Like in the city. And I'd be up in there with niggas and rapping and just stupid shit niggas be doing when they don't want to go home and shit. But I always was that way. When I was a little kid, I was always in the city. I would walk to the city by myself. Little ass kid. That's when the gangsters got me. They're like, yo, what you doing out here, little man? And he was like, stay with us. It ain't safe out here. So that's when I was with the gangsters and it was teaching me all that shit. All them codes and shit. So like I met two different chicks at two different times, both Capricorn, talking about loyalty and shit. But like I said, I'm just chill. I done been betrayed too many times, so I don't know. So the point being made again, even Jesus Christ said it best. Each day is going to have its own evil. Seek God and his kingdom first. Seek God and his kingdom and his righteousness first. And all them other things, like your needs, will always be taken care of. But you got to be smart, though. You got to be wise. You got to know how to read and write. See, this is where people fail. That's why I said, if you're the type of person that thinks somebody else going to get it, what you're not thinking about is what happened when that person died. Like, let's just say you got a sugar daddy. You know what I'm saying? But what if he don't want you no more? Or what if you a type of woman that you got a sugar daddy, but you find out he knocking other bitches? Now, there's some females that don't care. They're like, as long as that nigga taking care of my bills, I could give a fuck less about them bitches. There's females that say that, but there's other females that do care. So which one is you? Because like I said, you're going to have to understand the game. The real game of life is, at the end of the day, I don't care what you heard, but you got to be able to maintain. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real name of this game in this life. You, however it's done. Like, motherfuckers always going to talk shit. But at the end of the day, it's just talk. Like, God, a lot of people don't like gossip and shit like that. And like, it's always gonna be somebody talking about you somewhere. I don't give a fuck. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is, no matter who you are, God is still gonna throw you in the deep at some point. Like, Jesus Christ was perfect. They said Jesus Christ was God in the flesh, but he still went through all that stuff. He got locked up. You know what I'm saying? His reputation was destroyed. People beating him up, spitting on him, cursing him out. So no matter who you are on this planet, like Job was the most righteous man on the planet, but God told Satan to go test him. So it comes with the territory of being on this planet. And to me, when you really say you serving the God of the Bible, then you best believe that drama is going to come. So you're not going to be able to be everywhere. And I'm saying, if you got health issues and shit like that, it is going to affect shit. And people ain't going to like it. One time I got a job. It was a temporary job. And we was working in a library. Now, the female that was working in the library knew my older sister. Now, my older sister is deceased. So she knew her, and my older sister and her brother, her older brother, like, were best friends. So we was in the library, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. But a lot of stuff happens in the library, because all them books got energies, and you gotta understand, so many people have touched those books and through the lifetimes and lifetime. So the library definitely has a lot of spirits. Like if you ever wanted to do a seance or whatever, or if you was just like one of them people like to go into the unknown, the library be one of the best places. I'm not saying that, and also like them older hotels and shit, older hotels, because like I've heard of spirits that just hang out in hotels and shit. You know, like celebrating, like they keep coming back. They keep coming back to where they used to party and shit. And also, like, even on YouTube, you know, there's videos about haunted hotels and shit. And there's one female, she came to a hotel, but she was always a little weird. But she came to that hotel, and you could see her walking around on video camera, but she's talking, but you don't see nobody. You know what I'm saying? You could see this female walking around this hotel talking to people, but ain't nobody there but her, from our perception. And then somehow she ended up on the top floor of that hotel dead. And she was like butt naked, but dead. So that was some weird ass shit. But me and that female would be talking, and like, if we was talking about anything, the next book we would pick up would be exactly what we was talking about. And me and her was like, we was like real connected as far as, you know, on metaphysical shit. But she also had some of the similar problems I had too. And but God made a way for her. And it's funny because I think she even went to the same church my mother went to. Because when one day my mother told me, she was like, yo, so and so said something to you at church. She said, somebody asked me about you at church or whatever. She's telling me to come to the church or something. But I haven't seen her since then. But it was just a lot of supernatural stuff that was going on with her. But she had been through a lot of shit too. And but God always looked out for her. And I could resonate, because some of the shit God did for me, He did for her. But one of her, and she's supposed to be writing a book, because what happened was, she used to work in New York. I'm not gonna tell you who she worked for, but she worked for a very famous um, male of color, very famous in New York. And I think through working for him, she met this African prince. So she married him and moved out to Africa. Now they was all Muslim, and she's got children by him, which means her children are royalty. But what happened was somehow she didn't want Islam, or she didn't like it, or whatever happened. But then she wanted Christianity. So so they began threatening her, saying, we kill people, like we kill anybody talking about Christianity, we kill them. And they did. So she knew her life was on the line, and like I don't know how she did it, but because they had her, like they kind of was. I mean, I'm not saying how deep the surveillance was, but they definitely were keeping an eye on her because they knew she didn't want to be Islamic, and she was getting homesick, and so they was kind of keeping an eye on her. But I don't know if it was a tight eye, because somehow, and how she did it, I don't know, but she is able to escape like Africa, like get up out of there and stuff. And I think she got the kids with her. I don't know the whole story. I knew some of it, but I kept telling her to write a book, and she said she was. For all I know, the book could have been written. I really don't know. Now her brother was a famous DJ back in the day. Like from 12 o'clock p.m. to 1 o'clock, the lunch break, he used to be cutting up in New York City. And that nigga went to school with me. When we were, same age. Now, something else I wanted to say, but the guy took it away. Bring it back if you so desire. Because it needed to be said. It was something I was getting to kick up. Oh, it came back. I got it. So now let me show you the connection. So all of y'all know the son of Sam Killer, David Berkowitz. So somebody she knew was in the same prison David Berkowitz was. Now, what y'all got to understand, in that prison, they have a Bible study. And y'all know David he's a pastor now. And in fact, last time I heard he was sick, I don't even know if he got better or not. Because I just read that in the news about a month or two ago. But I don't know if he got better or what. But anyway, every time he comes up for parole, he tells them don't let him out. He says, because if you let me out, I want to start killing people again. So just keep me in here. Because he's the son of Sam Killer. So he doesn't talk. They say he doesn't talk at the Bible study. He goes, even though he's a pastor, but they say he just sits there quietly. Now, somebody knew her. Somebody knew her. And was talking about her situation during the Bible study. Now, I don't know. I forget. Because she told me all this. I can't remember everything she told me. But either one of the teachers, like in prison, they had people from the outside go in. So it might have been one of those people, like a teacher from a church or something from the outside that goes just in to preach to the inmates. Or it might have been an inmate that was talking about it. I really don't remember. But they claimed this. Now listen to what I'm about to tell y'all. She said that David Berkowitz listened to how she escaped Africa and all that. And he got up and walked over. And now he started talking. They said he never talked. He just sat there and listened. But for that, he got up and started talking. And he said, I want to pray for her. And he prayed for her. That's some deep shit. And but that's why I love my life. Because I be just this shit, you know, I'm always on some shit. Like, you can't be afraid, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But see, y'all got it from us. See, y'all don't understand from us. David Berkowitz was like that hood motherfucker. Because he lived in the hood. But he ain't kill no black people. You know what I'm saying? So we were saying that shit in the 70s. He said, no, this motherfucker killing everybody. He don't kill no brothers and sisters and shit. So to us, we respected that. Like, we respected like we had to, because you ain't kill none of us and shit. Because we always getting killed. We always getting harassed and killed and beat up and shit up. So we had respect for that shit. This motherfucker like went hardcore, but not on us and shit. So we always respected that nigga. So for that reason, not for the murders, but just for the reason he ain't kill us. And for him to get up and do that shit, that's like, oh shit, this nigga still, you know what I'm saying? He still, when I was young, we was talking about that nigga. 38 motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? That's why when I be watching Peanut Live, and Peanut Live be shooting niggas with that 38, so damn, this nigga like David Berkowitz and shit. See, I be on that hood shit, nigga. Now, another thing about him, if I get off of the subject, which y'all don't understand, which y'all might not know, is they was going to sentence David Berkowitz to death for all them people he shot up. So they was going to sentence him to death, and the whole time he was in court, he ain't say nothing. The trial he was there and shit, they had him in straitjacket and shit. He never said nothing. But the day they was going to say guilty, when the judge was going to say guilty, you know, put the gravel down, guilty, and sentence him to death. That day they was about to sentence him, he broke out the straitjacket and started yelling, yeah, and going crazy, yeah, and you know, talking about his victims that he killed, and yeah. He went crazy. They had to restrain him and stuff and pull him up out of there. And because of that outburst, they didn't kill him. Ain't that crazy? So that's just crazy, y'all. I don't know if y'all hear what I'm trying to tell y'all, but I don't know who saved that man. But if it wasn't for that violent, crazy outburst, they was gonna kill him. But because of it, they could say they were like, man, you know, it's really something. He's really troubled and shit. And then they didn't kill him. He's still alive to this day and shit. And now, like I said, he's a pastor, and he don't want to come out of jail. And even when 9/11 happened, no, when it was a terrorist going around, it was people in a white van going around shooting people. So he made an announcement from prison. He is like, yo, he said, would you please stop killing people? He said, because every time you do that, I'm affected by it. Like something was happening with him and shit. See, but like I said, people, believe it or not, see me, I'm a different dude. Like, there's deliverance. I mean, you got to pay for your crimes. Don't think I'm justifying any new crime. But you can still get deliverance. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can come that far to become a pastor, you could come farther and get deliverance and shit. And y'all might not like it, but if that was one of your relatives, by the law, he has a right to be paroled, whether you like it or not. Whether I like it or not, he has a right to be paroled under the law. He just doesn't want to be. He has a right to parole, hearing, and whatever else. But I don't know. Last time I heard he was sick, so I don't know if he's gonna get better or not. And they say, why do you care? It's not that I care, y'all missed the point. Like, I'm a historian at the end of the day, but I think he came a long way, becoming a pastor. And plus, whatever happened with him, you know, it was demonic. And believe me, that's why I be telling y'all gotta walk in spirit. And I always be trying to tell y'all, it's a whole bunch of people that got evil around them. It just didn't get so evil as get a gun and kill people, but it's still evil. So every day you gotta pray over everything, like I do, and every day you got to pray for deliverance and stuff, even within yourself, because it's that serious. So again, let's reiterate, shit is going to happen. God keeps stuff going on in your life, but that helps you to always call out to God, and it keeps you humble. Because let's just imagine you didn't have health problems. So you were working more, making more money. You didn't have nobody banging on your door or blowing up your telephone. And let's just say you moved far away from anybody who you thought was a drama queen or a drama king. And let's just say when you woke up every day, you woke up with a big smile on your face. Well, I got money in the bank. I love where I live. I can go on vacation if I want. I can go out here and flirt with some of these females. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really going to be thinking about God too much. If everything was going right, you ain't really going to be thinking about God too much. But if your life is filled with just shit all the fucking time, you'll probably be praying a whole lot more. So I'm not saying, that's the way to do it, but that is the way God does it. Because you can see him in the scriptures telling the people, I'm going to send snakes into your camp. I'm going to send wild animals into your camp. Because if I don't do that, y'all are going to forget me. And then I'm going to have to discipline you for disloyalty, for disobedience. So that's how he sees it. And he's probably right. I don't know. So you don't have to walk around with a lot of guilt feelings. I just told you what to do. Walk in the spirit. You don't have to be guilty. You don't have to feel sad. What you do have to do each day is make sure you're seeking wisdom so that you know how to handle these things when they come up. And like, people have to look at the bigger picture, because some people can try to talk shit about you, but like I'm saying, a lot of these people you do a lot for. A lot of these people you help a lot too. You might not be able to help them a lot financially, but you do help these people and stuff like that. So it's just human nature to want to talk shit about people, but the truth of the matter is, they should be thankful too. And again, long as you're walking with God, life will go on. There's going to be storms in life. There's going to be some periods, but you can you're walking with God. There'll be, like I said, it's the wheel of fortune. Number 10, Jupiter energy. One day it might spin against you. One day it might spin for you. But that's why you have to have wisdom. Know how to save money. Know how to handle. Know what to do with your money. You have to have wisdom. Know what people to contact when you need help against whoever. That's why I said you can't be sitting around thinking somebody else is going to get it, because that's the worst mistake you make. Because when you think somebody else is going to get it, what happens when you ain't got nobody? You understand? And the way I'm trying to tell y'all is every day is going to be some type of fight. Every day you have to be on top of shit. So you got to have wisdom, you got to have connections, and you got to know when to work however you're going to do it. So I think I covered everything. Make sure you walk in the spirit. There's 2 different videos on walking the spirit on this channel. Make sure you stay prayed up with God, growing in the spirit. And once you've done all you can do, make sure you pray. But then after that, you have to let go. And don't let nobody keep pulling you back, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep on trying to pull you into some bullshit. And you can't let that happen. Like I said, you have to just know. And if something bad comes up, then God said he'll take care of you, but he's not going to take care of you till the moment of need. Just like a lot of people be praying for, like Pastor Tony Evans said, God is only going to give you grace for the day. So Pastor Tony Evans said you could pray about all that other stuff going on in your life that you're worried about, but God is only going to give you grace for that day. And that's what he said. So remember that. Let that always be like something you remember. Because most people are going to worry about the week and shit, So it is what it is. But remember that if you're worrying about the week and it don't look like nothing's happening, probably because God said, well, that's not a need for today. And always remember God is in control. And the best thing is, like I said, make sure you have wisdom. Make sure you do your part. Make sure you seek wisdom. Keep positivity around you, not negativity. If you do have to keep negative people around you, try to limit as best you can. And learn not to react to everything. And walk in the spirit. pray all the time. And once you do all that, then let go and let God. Because if you've done all that, then you should be prepared. Like let me give you a perfect example. I had put something on order. I thought I was good to go, and I was real busy because it's just been a busy ass, especially the last 3 or 4 days, been busy as I don't know what. And I'm trying to track everything, watch everything. Then of course other shit going on, like pictures falling off the wall or some stupid ass shit, just anything to fuck with you. And then I finally went to check on one people I hadn't heard from, and then found out some bullshit with them. And instead of them like letting me know, they did some stupid ass way. To my letter has been sent. Yeah, letter has been sent. If it wasn't for me following up, I wouldn't even known. So now we got to do that. And like I said, I could have took care of that the other day if I had known. But that's what I mean. Shit always gonna happen. So you just got to be up on it. Then, like I said, once you do all that, then let go, let God, and then breathe. And there's nothing wrong with having fun, because if you work hard, you have a right to like treat yourself to something. People make you think, oh, you can't work hard because of this or that. Yeah, I mean, people think, they say you can't treat yourself. You shouldn't be smiling because of this reason, that reason. Listen, my nigga, you on a fucked up planet. Shit happen every fucking day. Like I said, it's people that work really hard to save for something, and they have savings, and the moment they do the car breakdown or some shit like that. So this is the planet you want. Like, this shit gonna happen all the time. That's why I can't be mad at motherfuckers that go like, man, fuck that, I'm going out. Like, I'm gonna go out and have a good time. I'm sick of this bullshit. You can't worry about everything, man. Like, give it to God. If you really walking with God, give it to God, let go. But there's nothing wrong with going out having some fun or just laughing. Because if you don't do that, you drive yourself crazy. Because, like I said, like Jesus said, them problems still going to be here tomorrow. No matter what the fuck you do, them problems still going to be here tomorrow. So, you try to be balanced between the two, but it's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun. So, that's it. I'm out.